And now, it's time for the Bodysurf podcast with Tim and Owie.
Hello and welcome to the Bodysurf podcast, a very special edition of the program. We are coming out of South Melbourne and we're about to drive to a very random beach to try and get a few waves while I'm here in Victoria. Very special guest on the program. We haven't seen him for a while. It's very exciting to have him on. Please welcome to the program, Hypto, Justin Spittle. How you doing, mate?
Hey, mate. I'm good.
Yeah, let me just get these levels. All right, that's good. Yep. We're always running a bit hot, but this is a bit awkward. Have you ever done a podcast out of a car before?
Nah, not while I'm driving. My hands are on the steering wheel though, so it's pretty. It's all right. I'm concentrating.
I'm doing the double hander, the double fister, and you're driving and cruise controlling it. And where are we heading, bro?
We are sort of. Where are we going? I think we're going to a remote beach with no one out there probably.
Is this like an undisclosed location? Is this a bit like Mystics? We don't like telling people about it?
No, this break is like known, but how known is it? It's known, but it's...
Can we mention the name?
I'd rather not mention
Okay,
the name.
that's fine. I get that.
The locals past certain points, past bells, they get a little funny sometimes.
Yeah,
If it's not
yeah.
lawn or bells, I think I'd rather keep on the lowdown. But I mean, it'll be small as well, so, you know, what do you do?
Yeah, well, that's what
It's clean and small.
That's
that's
what we love. That's our catchphrase. It's always overhead when you're
Totally,
body surfing. So I'm
totally.
keen to check. Oh no, we've lost the camera.
Lost the
Oh
camera.
geez, it's all happening. This is really budget community television. Give us 1 second. We'll fix this in the edit, I'm sure. Oh my
You
god.
have to, you have to put it on the, stick it on that thing on the upper.
Oh yeah. Oh, fuck me dead.
That's not how you're going to do that. You have to start again. You alright? Get it in.
Get it in. Is that it?
I think. Try that.
Oh mate.
So we back in action.
I think
You've
we're.
got to keep the falling. That's the best bit.
All right, we're back, and I'm just.
If you can move, hang on, I'll help you out. If you move that, you better slide your phone.
Yeah.
Central. Like you can expand. Yeah, there you go. And twist, you can tweak it. I think that'll work. That's worse.
Oh, I think we've stopped recording. Fuck. We gotta start again.
That's all right.
Well, I'm just gonna stop. And we are back. Sorry about those technical difficulties. So we're not going to disclose where we're heading. It's a bit of a secret spot. I do like a secret spot, but I often get confused why they are secrets.
I know. I totally get it, but I think, just this direction where we're going is a little bit more discreet.
Do you think the viewers that are watching on the YouTube could work it out from the background?
No.
Okay, good. All right, we're safe.
Yeah.
So you were saying it's a little bit small, but there's a bit of shape to it. Some rideable waves.
Yeah, it'll be rideable waves. Like I've bought some other craft for us to slide on as well, other than Bodysurf, just in case. Some Woody Bandit specials. He's been shaping some boards down here, some wooden boards. So
Nice.
that'll help.
Well, you know me, I don't even really use a hand plane or a hand board. I've been riding the War a bit.
Yeah, nice.
And I've been riding the Skipper a bit. I've really enjoyed the Skipper hand planes, so I have been getting into it. So today I'll definitely need it, I think.
Yeah, I've never seen which is bad on my behalf, I've never actually seen a Skipper hand plane.
Dude, so they come out of Newcastle. and they make, like, the one I ride is shaped like a boog.
Right.
But it's a nice wooden little hand plane that just flies.
Sounds good.
Yeah, really, really good. We got to get him on the program, but he's been quite busy. So, yeah. What have you been riding lately, mate?
Well, I've had about maybe 4 months off Bodysurf.
Oh, jeez.
Yes, I've had a hiatus for a second, which has been okay because I've been on other craft which I could ride, but I sort of did it was not a major bicep tear, but a small bicep tear, and it was a weird injury. It was an injury that I've never done before. It wasn't my arm that was out, like the hand plane driving arm. It wasn't that one. It was the actual other arm, which is super strange, and it felt like my forearm was going to snap.
Jeez.
And instead of that, just my bicep gave way.
You go through physio, you go through all that stuff?
I didn't. I went straight to a lot of remedial massage and a lot of heat.
Yeah.
And I put a lot of heat, and then I just ended up, honestly, doing what I've done in the past. I just went into the gym and started putting it under strain.
Well, that's a bit like...
And that worked.
A bit like Nick Brabot, when he did his ACL, he chose to not get surgery and just do the rehab, and that seemed to really work for him. So I would be encouraging people to try those sort of alternative methods if you can. Have you got private health insurance?
Not for that.
Oh, no.
Well, I do. Like, I've got physio, but I was just, like, opting for...
But not remedial massage.
No, and my partner, she does remedial massage.
Oh, that's handy.
So that's not so bad. Just bear with me.
No, you're all right.
Like, we're all good. I am definitely lost. Hang on. Just bear with me.
While you're working out where we're going, I'll just tell everyone what a shit of a morning I've had. I've been on the tram. I've been on the train. I thought I was going in the right direction, and then someone told me I got to go the other way, and then the train stopped and they were putting replacements in, and I just said, oh mate, I'm going to jump in an Uber and get here, because otherwise we're not getting in the water till very late. So I've mucked Justin around a lot this morning, and I apologise, and I thank you for your patience. But I think it's going to be worth it, man. We're heading about 2 hours from where I'm staying, so it was a bit of a journey, but I think it's going to be worth it. One of the reasons I came to Melbourne was to get in the water. We were thinking about going to Urban Surf.
We were.
And there's a competition happening at Urban Surf in Homebush, Sydney in a few weeks' time, so I did want to get some practice in. But, you don't need much practice at Urban Surf. You just jump on a wave and have a crack.
It depends. I heard you saying in the last podcast, you saying the waves are slightly different.
Well, that's what we've heard. You know, I've only done Melbourne and I haven't done Sydney, but when I've done both, I'll let you know. I think it's pretty similar. Like, come on.
It's gotta be.
The designs of the pools look exactly the same. I'm guessing the system they use is pretty similar.
Yeah.
Like, I reckon it's going to be a very minimal difference, if any.
Do you think they're going to are they just going to run it all in brackets, beast mode, or are they going
So they're running left and right at the same time.
Right.
And I think they've decided on a particular size wave. I'm not sure what it is, but it's not going to be small. So it's definitely going to be mid to big. Which is good. Cool. So, when have you done it?
I've been.
Yeah.
So we actually went. I went with Chris, Hypto, and the crew. Actually, on the second day it opened.
Yeah.
And
the one in Melbourne.
Yeah. And it was great. I enjoyed it, but then I went recently again. One of my mates, Evan, who body surfs and rides a lot of surf mats.
Yeah.
He goes all the time, and I went with him on a mat just to have a mat.
You love a mat.
I do love a mat. And look, honestly, after about 4 waves, because they were quite, it was in advanced turns, I suppose. It got a little boring after 4 waves.
Yeah, okay.
But it just became repetitive. But I think body surfing, was definitely more fun.
Yeah, I agree. And,
100%.
I mean, I'm no expert. I've done it once. I did it about 2 or 3 years ago with the slide handboard team, the Australian team, and we had a great time. And it was definitely that thing of like, you just go all day, you get the rip out there, you get stuck in that little rip bowl, and people will start dropping in on you, and all that sort of fun stuff happens that I really enjoy. I know it's fake, I know it's artificial, I know it's controversial even at times, but it's fun. You gotta have fun, so just have a crack. And this is the first competition, I believe, that's been run at Urban Surf.
Yeah.
So we've had this idea for ages, and Ricky's gone ahead and made it happen with his amazing administrative abilities and skills. So I'm excited, man. I wish you could come.
No, I wish I was there. Like, I think it's really good that, honestly, Ricky's pulled it together. Like, I know he's always constantly pushing.
Because let's be honest.
Design and body surfing and obviously Womp Off and...
Yeah. The Budgie Boys wanted to run it, and we wanted it to call it, the Budgie Boy Classic, and we were going to invite like 10 people only.
Yeah.
But the Budgie Boys could not organise a route and a brothel, so Ricky's the guy.
I think he is definitely the guy to pull it together. I mean, I know like there's a lot happening with the competition side of body surfing at the moment, and
true,
and like, obviously the Hawaiian contest recently, Point Panic, and and obviously everything that's happened at Coolum recently. And I'm like, there's positives and negatives with all sorts of things. I know you were talking with, is it Timmy on the last podcast?
Finny Padman,
Sorry, Finny.
Tim and Finn.
I know, so
with the Neil brothers.
Yeah, totally. And I know you were talking with him about, what were you saying? You're mentioning something about contests and his take on it, I think.
Yeah.
And it's a funny one, like a lot of,
I think the big difference between surf, bodyboard, and body surf contests is that body surf contests are fun.
Yeah.
They're not super competitive.
Totally.
And it's more about bringing the community together, whether it's an individual comp, whether it's a team comp, it's just about having fun. And that's something I've tried to bring into the community a bit more of. I'm not a great body surfer. I'm just here to be a bit of a larrikin and to have a fun time, even though on the last podcast I think I said the opposite.
No, I mean, honestly, as long as you are having fun, I think that's the main thing. I think sometimes, I mean, even doing the Newcastle comp that you did recently.
The Flat Rock Invitational.
Flat Rock.
Did you see any of that coverage?
So I did, and I saw actually some still images, and I was horrified how big it was.
But what about as a professional photographer? Were you impressed with the setup we had?
So your setup, I mean, it was terrible. I was shocked, and then you couldn't see any waves, and I was trying to zoom in on my mobile phone, and it was like scratchy trying to look at it like the moon, when you take a photo of the moon basically, and I was like, this is a disaster. But I was listening to your commentary, and then obviously I spoke with I think it was someone else I spoke with, and it was I spoke with Kookman.
Captain Kookman.
I spoke with Captain,
well...
and like that sounded...
Do you want to tell the story?
Well, he obviously, the cut was quite bad.
Yeah, so he cut his foot.
He cut his head on the side.
Right after he rescued someone.
I think he actually did it before.
Oh, no, okay.
Well, I thought he did it before.
Yeah.
But anyway, he did it doing a rock jump.
Yeah.
Didn't realise, came in. And look, it's actually quite a bad... I think it's a worse cut than people realise.
No,
as well.
it looked bad.
It's sort of like a skin fold.
Do you know how many stitches?
I think there was I think there would have been a fair few because they have to stitch both sides.
Yeah.
So I do know.
I mean, he handled it like a champ, and I mean, he was the highlight of that day. He was running around doing a lot of funny stuff. He was getting in the water. He was, Bondi Rescue. He was doing multiple things. He wears a lot of hats. He's also the Womp Camp administrator.
He is
the help desk admin guy. If you call the help desk, he'll tell you all the stuff you need to know about Womp Camp. So he's doing a lot for the community, and but he's doing a lot of funny stuff as well. But he's sort of staying out of the spotlight a little bit more lately. He's I think focusing on family.
I was literally about to say, like, I think sometimes, and like with everybody, even Owie and a lot of people, family obviously takes priority.
Yeah.
And it's sort of fitting the waves in, and he's obviously just prioritized. He's still there, but he's just in the background a little more, I think.
Well, I don't know if you know this, and I have mentioned it maybe a few times on different platforms and things, but I'm engaged.
Nice.
Getting married in March 2025.
Mate,
we'll be
amazing.
Trying for a kid straight away, and I want to get advice. I want to get advice from the boys that have body surfed and they've had kids and they've got jobs and they've got hobbies.
Yep.
And they've got, they live in different parts of Australia or the world.
Yep.
How do you do it?
Wow. I mean, I'm probably a good example.
Yeah.
But I've had some bad, probably surfing too much or body surfing too much, and it can be slightly detrimental to relationships.
See, I'm the same with stand-up. I do stand-up every night.
Yeah,
and I get sometimes. See, my partner used to be a shift worker. When she was on night shifts, I'd be sweet because she's working. I can go do a couple of spots in the city. But now she's got a 9 to 5. She's working from home sometimes.
And when you have kids,
so I've got to make it
like
more time.
It's like another level.
And I mean, I love spending time with her.
Yeah.
But I also love doing spots. And it's going to be hard for me to try and work out a bit of a balance there.
I think always just I've obviously got to have a balance. Obviously but it's cliche to say that, but I think family should take.
Families first.
Should definitely take precedent.
It's what do we always say? What comes first?
Family.
Breakfast and then family.
I do like a breakfast.
And then what would come after family for you? What's your next priority in life?
I love the ocean.
Yeah, so but mats or just getting wet in general?
Just in general, honestly, lately I've been riding a lot of other craft. No stand-up, but a few other injuries and other stuff happening, which is fine. And I ended up going onto a lot of wooden craft, stuff that'll go in the waves down on this coast a little bit better.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the waves down here are more those rolling Bells-esque style waves.
Yeah.
And you can body surf them, and there are spots, but I think it's a little bit easier to slide in on the craft sometimes. But look, family is super important. So we're going back to that. But look, when I first had my daughter, it was very tricky because I ended up moving back to the Gold Coast, and it was that swell of 2001, which was a long time ago, and it was pumping. I don't know if people remember, but there's a lot of footage still around of it. There's all this footage, and they just started making the super bank. And I went down there one day, and I was saying to a mate, Dan, on the Gold Coast, where I went to school with. I'm like, something's happening. The Green Mountain is firing, and like I don't know why, but there's sand coming in, and so like we were body surfing then, but I was doing a lot of stand-up surfing, and with my daughter, because of the Queensland light, I was just getting up and surfing for 3 hours and coming back.
Yeah.
And it was all good, but in reality, I probably should have, prioritized more time, I feel, to family. And look, we relocated after that.
Yeah.
And took our daughter overseas, and yeah, and then I suppose I wasn't surfing so much in sunny Scotland.
From afar, because you do post a bit of stuff online,
Yeah.
it looks like you've got a really good relationship with your daughter.
I do. She's amazing. And look, as far as like everyone goes like, oh, my daughter's amazing or whatever, like, but she truly is.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
That's good stuff, man. All right, so what comes after getting in the water?
After the water, I mean, look, I love work and I love photography, but at the moment it's taken me probably maybe a couple of years really to get into to understand, you know, this coastline.
Did you just mention something we weren't meant to mention?
Yeah, I did.
I'll beep that out, don't worry about it.
Yeah, maybe just in case. But it's taken me, and look, I've met some guys recently. I met Jason from Woody Bandit recently, and there is a crew down here that body surfs. You've got Andre, who's well known. He makes, hand planes, and they're amazing. Like, great design. You know, the Wampers. So he makes the Wampa hand plane.
Is there anything I can pick up in the city?
For
Like a hand plane, a wooden hand plane, anything really. Is there any stores in the city that would sell?
There is, but bizarrely, we do have, like, there's probably 2 locations. There's actually a store where I live, or down this way, that actually has yuccas.
Oh!
And they're quite cheap.
Oh! Do I make the transitions? You know,
they're quite good. Apparently they're... Jason from Woody Bandit, he just got some, and he was trying to get me to get another pair.
I mean, everyone is riding with the yuccas. Everyone's reviewing them, saying they're amazing.
They are, but look.
But you know me, I'm on the hydros. I think I'm going to get my own pro model hydros one day. I've been campaigning.
And he rides, and look, he does use, and his sons use. You know, Jason's got a couple of boys. Actually, he's got 3 boys, and they use the DMCs.
Yeah.
And honestly, they power in the DMCs.
We talk a lot of flipper chat on the podcast, but I would throw it all away if someone made me an offer. If someone made me an offer, I'll do anything.
So look, I mean, yeah, you can get hand planes down our way. Like, I know...
Will we have time to maybe go check out some stuff?
We can, if you want to check it out. It'd actually be quite cool. The store where Andre puts his hand planes, I've never been to. It's quite a popular store.
That's awesome.
And
will he be around?
Andre is not around.
Okay.
He's in Melbourne town. He comes down here.
I'll flick him a text when I'm back in the city.
He comes down it feels like every weekend he's down. I don't often see him. We're doing different hours basically in the water.
I just want to reminisce for a second. So Captain Kookman, I think, was our second guest on the podcast.
Right.
You were like maybe 6.
Yes.
And then Andre we had at Wom Camp a few years ago.
You did.
So like we haven't spoken, or we've seen each other at comps and stuff, but like the relationships we have, like, we're mild acquaintances.
Yeah.
But we're so friendly.
Yeah.
And I love that. I love being able to, like, just be like, hey, like, even with you, I sent you a text and it's like, let's make this happen, mate. We haven't seen each other for what? A couple of years.
I saw you, the last time I saw you was at Ricky's comp at Kiama. at Surf Beach.
Yeah.
I think you were there.
Yeah, I was there.
I saw you there, and then
had a shocker that day in the water.
that was tricky conditions.
Yeah.
But normally there gets actually quite good. And to be honest, I don't know if he's running it this year. Is he running it this year?
There's rumours that it might be going north, as in...
Really?
As in, I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say,
No,
but like northern New South Wales.
Really?
Yeah, but maybe that's not this year, maybe that's next year. There's always rumours. We'll get Ricky on to clarify everything soon.
I think, look, a lot of people did like that location.
I had a great weekend away. I mean, I didn't swim that much. I got in the water at the end. Sadly, Matthew Bond, member of the Bodysurf podcast team and also a budgie boy, his father, I believe, passed away like that weekend.
Right.
But he came down just to watch, and we had a great surf together after the comp. And that was a highlight for me. And that's always a highlight for me. After the comp's over, jump back in the water, because I don't get much water time during the comp. I'm not an individual rider.
No, totally.
So I love jumping back in. Normally it's with Ace or with because Ace will go all day, or Bondi or someone like that, and we have the best time. And it was a really special moment for me, and I hope it was for Bondi as well, that he made the effort while he was going through something so difficult.
Yeah.
And that's what body surfing is about. Like when you are having a rough time, it is good to get in the water.
Yeah, 100%.
So yeah, like those sort of memories, like they'll stay with me forever, and hopefully we can do something similar this year. Wherever it is, I'll be there. I love a bit of a road trip. I love, getting an Airbnb and setting up a studio and doing as much as we can do.
Well, I think it's a good idea. I mean, look, going north, there's beautiful waves. The water's warmer. Yeah. There is a lot to it. You know what I mean? So
yeah, I guess we were kind of just there for Flat Rock, and I did a spot. Like I messaged the Newcastle Comedy Club and said, "Hey, I'm coming up for a body surf comp.
Yeah.
Any chance I can get a spot?" And they graciously gave me a bit of time.
Nice.
Had an amazing weekend in Newcastle. So did comedy Saturday night. Guess who followed me?
Who?
I'm not sure if you'll know him, but he looks a bit like me. Luke McGregor.
Oh, I know. I've heard of Luke McGregor.
So I was so starstruck. Like, one of my heroes, like a guy sort of that looks a bit like me doing some pretty good gear.
Nice.
And he just, he saw my set, gave me a little pat on the back, and then he got up and destroyed it. And he's like, "That's how you do it, mate." But he was so lovely, and it's just so surreal that I can do stuff like that now. I go to Newcastle, jump on a club lineup, and stay at a nice hotel, and then call a body surf comp in the morning. Like that's the dream, yeah.
It is the dream.
And I'm hoping to do more stuff like that, especially with all these comps coming up. I've sort of been campaigning for some gigs in Hawaii.
Oh, I heard you trying to sell yourself.
I was away.
Free tickets to Hawaii. I heard that blatant plug.
I got the invite for what's the one coming up at Avalon, the Festival of Froth.
Oh yeah.
So that's coming up in September, I believe.
Oh, that looks amazing.
So I've got the call up for that, which is nice. So thank you. I can't wait to be a part of that. But I'm also competing, so we'll have to find some colour commentators that are interested in taking over when I have to jump in the water.
Well, there's some good footage that came out of one of the last swells from there. I don't know if you saw.
Oh well, yeah. There's a whole crew of people there.
Yeah.
I won't mention names because we don't know what's going to happen. But there's a crew of people involved with the Northern Beaches body surfers who are amazing videographers and amazing broadcasters. Yeah. So I think I might sit back and let them take over. So it's going to be so much fun. I think I'll just take the gear. I'll just be the tech. I'll be the technician, and I'll jump on the mic here and there. But oh my goodness, we're getting some gear. We're making it happen. We're stepping up our game a bit with our production, hopefully. I mean, I say that as we're driving in Victoria with a camera strapped to a car that just fell off, and two dodgy microphones that are probably not sounding the best. But that's what we've always done on the podcast, and we're thinking about stepping up our game.
That's amazing.
You know, we've got a kit of gear that we can take overseas, that we can take interstate, and do some fun live commentary. I want to be the Joe Rogan of Bodysurf podcast, you know.
Well, body surfing still, I mean, it always impresses me, you know, like it's still growing. I wrote an article a while back about trying to get body surfing in the Olympics, and I spoke to Ben Way, who had a lot to do with getting surfing in the Olympics in Japan. And I also spoke to the mayor of Brisbane, who talked me through the process of getting a sport added to the Olympic Games. Okay.
And he told me that the sport has to reflect the city and the state in which the Olympics is being held.
Well, body surfing.
But do you think they'll go back one step and introduce bodyboarding?
Look, I don't think so. Like nothing against lid riders, and they're all amazing. I think it's almost like they've become like this crazy, you know, subculture of hellmen, death slab riders, you know. And I mean, body surfers can do that, but I think body surfing, anybody or everybody can body surf, and it's quite easy, you know. You
might have just stirred something up really big then.
What do you mean? About the lid riders?
Well, I think a few bodyboarders listen to the podcast.
Oh, no, it's fine. And, I think it's, But
they've also...
And I know, even in South Coast body surfers, there's lid riders.
But it's also more official.
It is, but...
And that's what, surfing's more official.
But it's sort of died a fair bit of a death. Apart from, obviously, the big comps, you know.
I'm not aware of this death.
Well, bodyboarding had a downturn competition-wise. You know, you've got your Shark Island Classics and all the big contests, but as far as, you know, I think there might be more body surfing contests probably kicking around the East Coast right now, or that's what I feel.
I might have to give the mayor another call and really push for this and get... I know OE started a petition. I wrote the article, so there's stuff out there. And who knows?
Well, I think it could work.
Would you be disappointed if they said, all right, we're going to bring in rugby league as our official sport, because that's more...
Well, look, they're not going to bring in league. They're not going to... No offense.
It's becoming international, though.
I know it is, but it was always I photographed league in the UK in 2002. Do you know what I mean? And that was big games.
Yeah.
It's been around for a while.
As in the
Grand Final.
Super League?
It must have been Super League back then.
I think it still is.
Is it?
Yeah.
Look, it was what it is. It was fine, and it was great, and it was good to see it when you've been photographing different games, you know, like soccer or football and other sports. But I think it's not not every country plays league, but every country has oceans and body surfs.
Well, rugby sevens is in.
Yeah, but
I just remember then. I don't think we're allowed to say the word.
Which one?
Olympics.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think we're not allowed to say it.
I'll just beep out every.
I'm gonna put it through and see if we get flagged.
Yeah, right.
Because
we're
I think
not bagging the Olympics.
No, but I think they own the word.
Oh, they probably do.
And when we're coming up to an event like this, and it's in Paris,
but it's on other.
But people own the rights to it.
But there's other if you go onto certain podcasts like Beach Grit, they post that word.
Okay.
And
we'll see how we go.
And they put it up. Jump on Beach Grit, you'll see that word everywhere.
I mean, we got pulled down for playing the Johnny Carson theme song, so... But
if it's a theme song, they might go, you know...
Let's see what happens. Olympics, Paris, Paris. 2024, is that the year?
It is.
Because we missed a year and we had to catch up because of COVID.
Yeah, look,
Japan
I'm
was a
excited
year
to
later,
see. I'm
yeah.
excited to see Tahiti and
That's right.
And
So
like-
surfing is not going to happen in France, in Paris. It's going to
No.
take place in Tahiti. So that's going to be interesting.
and I
There's-
think it's good. Like, I think they're going to try and run. I heard they're going to run the next contest in the following Olympics, probably in a pool.
What?
And yeah,
What?
I think so.
Oh, man.
And I look, I do like as Ricky's running a pool comp soon, I do like the randomness of the ocean and that chance, that like getting a wave at the last second. And
Do you think it's unfair,
Yeah.
or is this in their right,
Yeah.
that like if you look at the game of football, soccer,
yeah,
you can play in World Cups, you can play in Olympics, you can play in Premier League. There's so many opportunities for glory.
yeah,
I mean, a lot of people miss out. A lot of people are the wrong age when Olympics are taking place. And I know in men's soccer, in football, they've got to have so many players under a certain age and things like that. So there's different rules at Olympics compared to World Cups and things like
Yeah.
that. But I think it's sometimes unfair. Like even surfers, they have all these big comps
Yeah.
and then they can also become Olympians.
yeah. Look,
Like,
it's that
that's-
whole thing with like.
It's kind of cool, but crazy.
It's like the tennis thing,
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
It's like you've got
You got
like,
a Grand Slam and a gold
Yeah.
medal.
Totally. And look, I mean, I'd rather see, Jack Robinson and Ethan Ewing out there winning and just, I wouldn't complain.
Yeah.
I understand, like, it's not, I suppose, like boxing, it's not like amateur, and, it's not like an amateur boxer versus a professional boxer. But, and look, surfing is a special, look, not everybody can surf. Like, you have to buy boards. If they're from a poorer country, they can't afford.
Yeah.
So it does, like, limit, they can't all go and hire.
Every country plays soccer. Every country
Exactly.
plays football.
Any team can grab a football and
Yeah.
kick a ball. And, it's like even like swimming. Not everybody has a pool they can jump into. So I quite like the sports that everybody
Yeah.
can sort of, there's an even playing
And
field.
sometimes the underprivileged countries are the
Yeah.
best at those
No,
sports.
absolutely. Like the runners and, look, and I think it's evolving. But like with body surfing, for example, like everybody can buy a pair of flippers or borrow a pair of fins.
Or not even use them.
Or not even use
Like
them, exactly.
I wonder like what the rules would be at that level.
Look, I think if it was going to be at that level, and I love a hand plane, but it should be just fins, no hand plane.
Yeah, it excites me when comps do that because it gives me a bit of an advantage. But
Yeah.
it's funny with all the official rules and different comps and different sized handboards and planes you can use and all that sort of stuff. But it excites me when it's like, all right, this is the official rule. I like rules. I love like regulating things. I love just knowing facts, knowing the truth, knowing what I got to be doing. And it's good when I'm told that. So just tell me what to do and I'll do it. Let's talk briefly about water polo.
Yeah.
Because water polo is an Olympic sport. There's a few characters within the community that are involved in it. Even Dan Kookman has called a fair bit of water polo in his day as a commentator, which is pretty cool. But we've got Uga,
We do.
who is an amazing water polo player, and that's, I think, kind of how he got into body surfing as well.
And look, obviously I've never seen him play water polo, but he's a weapon at body surfing.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing, he's amazing in the pool as well.
Now, his sister, Lena, played water polo for Australia in the Olympics last year
Okay.
in Japan.
Yeah.
And I watched most of the games,
Yeah.
and it was so exciting to see someone you slightly know playing at that level.
Yeah.
And Uga's dad and Lena's dad is was the coach of the Australian team.
Right.
And it's just so cool to be like, oh my goodness, like people associated kind of with body surfing.
Yeah.
Playing at the Olympics.
Yeah.
And they did very well.
Yeah.
And, oh man, just, it gives me goosebumps. So I don't know what would happen if body surfing actually got in, because to see people we know having a crack, potentially winning gold medals would be amazing.
There's like, I know like in the last, I loved like when Finn, is it Finny?
Yeah.
Finn, got it right this time.
Finny Padman.
Finny Padman.
I think he hates being called Finny.
Does he? Oh, when Finn.
Finn Padman.
When Finn said, I asked you which countries are the best at body surfing, and obviously Hawaii is.
Well, that's what I said, yeah.
And look, I agree. Like they're like on another level.
But I've spent so much time with some of those guys.
Totally.
So I know how good they are.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, I've seen them in the water, and I've spoken to people like Corey and you know, even Chris Ecto. I've spoken to him when he's been over there, and you know, you hear all these stories. But like, I think it'd be quite good as far as having it on that even playing field. I think we would do okay, you know, with some of the body surfers that are coming up and what we've got now.
Yeah, who would go for Australia? Who would represent us?
Oh man, I mean, I think Corey's amazing. Corey and Chris. And
do you think like a Mike Stewart might have a crack?
Look, I honestly think like Mike is like another level, but there's some other.
Yeah.
He's got good flow and style, and I listened to a podcast recently on style, and it was quite interesting. To
like style and flair?
Well, more style. Well, I suppose flair.
Are we talking about like tweaking out your leg when you hit a rail?
I'm talking about like surfing, I suppose, in a surfing context.
Yeah.
It'd be like, say, John.
Yeah.
Or Dave Rustovich. Or say Dave Ruster, for example. You know, or even, what's his name? From Newcastle. Oh my God, lose my mind.
You're right.
But anyway, say Dave Rustovich. You know, they're only doing controlled turns. They're doing lack of body movement, but they're just nailing the turns and nailing it. So it's almost like slowing things down, looking more in control.
Yeah.
Gives you more sense of style.
Yeah.
Rather than being random and loose. And
I mean, a lot of the sport I was into, like I played a bit of rugby league, I played a bit of soccer.
Yeah.
And I was no good. You know, my dream in life was to be a first grade rugby league player. And I just never had a chance. I was 45 kilos when I was 18 years old, so I just was never going to play. No. But, you know, sign me up now. I'm 100 kilos. I'm 34 years old. Like, I'm ready. You know, if the Newtown Jets need a centre or a winger, I'm ready to play. I'm just 34 and got a bad knee. So, but I got into a lot of sports that not required, but they acknowledged and respected the style and the flair.
Yeah.
And those sports were wakeboarding, wake skating, snowboarding.
Yeah.
And it was all about just trying to make things look cooler than they actually had to be.
Yeah.
And I respect that and I get that, but it, like, you know, when it comes down to it, technically sometimes it doesn't matter. Like hitting a rail straight or putting your foot out a bit,
but
it doesn't really matter.
Look, I think like seeing guys like Corey and Chris and some of the, you know, what's the young guy? Well, he's not young anymore. When we met him at Wom Camp, he was like a baby.
Jared Bridges.
Jared, yeah. And seeing him as well, God, it's crazy, you know, when we first met him, he was so young, you know. He wasn't even bloody driving.
Yeah.
I think he hitched there. But like seeing those guys with that sense of control and style, you know, and obviously the Hawaiians as well, watching them, you know, like spin to win, but then doing it with that sense of control and not overexerting, like the Mike Stewart, have you ever seen him body surf?
A lot.
And like seeing that sort of thing, I think Australia, honestly, like having those guys, and obviously there's many other body surfers, Chargers and everyone else, like having that crop of people for people to emulate. And, you know, look, even like good examples, you know, Raf, you know, Brazilian Raf, you know, Raf.
Yeah.
Like when we first met him, God, you know, I thought, God, don't drown, you know.
He was your version of Bondi.
Oh my God. And like, I just watched him just like get better and better. And then he's just like, you know, moved to sort of the northern, like up to Central Coast.
Yeah.
And then he just became like a flippin' charger.
We talk a lot, you know, and he's got a real great philosophy, and I really like his vibe, and we probably should hang out more, but you know, he's busy.
Yeah.
And yeah, I like everything he's throwing down.
Yeah, I do. And look, he's always so happy to see you, and like, but I suppose like what I'm trying to say is like, even watching him, his style when he body surfs, you know, doing his wide arm breaches and, you know, his dolphin flares and stuff like that, like it's actually quite cool, you know.
So let's talk about style a bit. How long until we're there?
Oh, we're so close.
Okay, let's quickly talk about style and then we'll wrap things up.
Yeah.
So I played a lot of Kelly Slater Pro Surfer 2.
Oh, I heard you talking about
this. Just Kelly Slater Pro Surfer 1. They only put out one.
Yeah.
On PS2, so PlayStation 2.
Yeah.
And you could do a lot of things on that game that were not maybe heaps realistic.
Yeah.
So you could do a kickflip, you could do a shove it.
Yeah.
But people are kind of doing that now.
They are, and look, I think... Yeah, you go. Sorry.
Well, that's how I learn about style. So you could either just thrash and have a lot of fun and do like Tony Hawk style tricks.
Yeah.
Or you could try and do it a bit more realistically and see how that scored. And to tell you the truth, the game probably was mapped similarly to Tony Hawk.
Yeah.
So if you were thrashing, you were winning.
Yeah.
If you were doing backflips off waves, if you were, like linking all your tricks, you would absolutely kill in all the competitions. If you were to just like try and ride a perfect wave, which would get you a 10 out of 10 here, you normally wouldn't win a comp. So I would sometimes play and go, all right, I'm just going to try and play realistically and let's do what like they do in the comps. So I'm going to try and get barreled. I'm trying to do just a few little floaters.
Totally.
I'm just going to try and do a few snapbacks. And then, see if I can pull off like a perfect wave. And that didn't score very well. But at a surf comp, that would kill. At an Olympics, that would absolutely kill. But it's just the way that the game's designed. So my head's a bit all over the place when it comes to style, because I've never been great with style. I'm a bit of a hack. I'm a bit of a thrasher. But I do respect style a lot. And when I see it, like you, I know what it is. It looks cool. I'll have to learn how to call it. Like I heard Rowan Churchill commentate or judge recently. And he said, "Oh, that was a nice little skeg." And I whispered in his ear, I go, "What's this? Oh, what's a skeg?" And he goes, "I don't know." So people are just making up words. So I'm going to have to be Larry Lingo and try and learn what the terminology is, because I mean I've been watching bodyboard and surf videos since the 90s. And things have changed. So I got to get up to date. If you can help me out with any terminology, that would be great. But I absolutely agree about the style, and that's something we should judge more highly.
Look, I think, like, oh God, the styling thing is like, I mean, it's like comparing, like, watching Ethan Ewing or, even Jack. Like, they're not out there doing airs and 360 shove-its, you know what I mean? Like, they're doing this controlled surfing, sort of more inspired, I'm guessing, really, looking at Mick Fanning surfing. And I think with body surfing, like, having that sense of control and style, it's like when you watch Chris body surf, like, you could watch him watched him come in from a surf and just get the wave of the session.
Yeah.
And it's just been like super flowy, and his arms are like all just super silky and smooth, and like, and you just go, yeah, that's just style, like, and that's probably what should be judged heavily on.
Yeah.
Not just doing random spins. Even when I try and do a spin, like, I'm thinking, you know, should I be more tucked, or should I be more like doing like a full ecto spray off the top, you know? And I'm like, so it's trying to figure out. And then you see the likes of Corey, who can, same deal, you know.
Well, I had the privilege of surfing with Dane Torres many times.
Yeah.
And I learnt a lot from him. I may not be able to pull off the sort of stuff he can do, but in my opinion, I think he's one of the best when it comes with style.
Oh, look, and all those guys.
Yeah.
100. Like,
but there's a few people that get shout-outs a lot.
Yeah.
And they're amazing. Yeah. But I think Dane Torres is one of the most underrated body surfers of our generation.
Yeah.
And he just is living this nomadic life, cruising around, surfing, coming to Australia sometimes, you know, sleeping on people's couches, and just he lives like to get in the water. We went around just driving around Sydney looking for spots all day, and it was the most fun I've ever had body surfing with someone.
Yeah.
Because he's just so eager and keen and doesn't care. Yeah. He's not pretentious. Yeah. But he's so good. Yeah. And like, how lucky am I to sort of like, he's like, hey, do this, you know, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. To have a coach like that.
That guide in the, Look, having anyone guide you, and I think it's always like, I'm sort of a big believer in like going, you know, I've always tried to do it, whether it's subconsciously or consciously, like in any sport growing up, especially in the ocean, which I've done really more since I was 14, like forever, but going in the ocean with people that are better than you, like, is a real eye-opener. It's, you know, even like, you know, Adam Wright, who's like ex sort of bodyboarder, you know, from South Coast, like even, you know, even for his BMI, like he moves like nothing else, you know, and you just go, yeah, right, that's how it should be done. And you're seeing these guys, you know, even Jared's like a massively solid guy. Yeah, fit as, and like, but seeing these guys move the right way, I think, is inspiring or it should be inspiring for everybody. But I think what I'm trying to say is basically going in the water with people that are better than you, like the guys from Hawaii and things like that.
Well, I should mention a few other people that have helped me out. You know, Owie, for sure.
Oh, look, Owie's like another weapon, and it makes me die laughing that he didn't get out at Flat Rock. And it scared me in my soul when I heard he didn't. I was like, oh my God, it must have been heavy.
And Barrel Pig as well.
Oh, like, and Jake is like
always
incredible.
Calls me on the waves. He always lends me gear. He always talks me through stuff because he knows I'm not as competent as some of the other guys that are in the scene. So like, it's nice to have those sort of people that call you onto waves.
Totally.
And are just trying to get the best out of you.
Yeah.
So like, and there's plenty more people I probably have forgotten.
And look, there's
Rob's as well. Like, he's always helping me out, and he's a great body surfer. So,
and it's even like the likes, obviously, of even, you know, even Ricky, and like watching him body surf, and like, but I mean, it's this endless. What I'm saying, I suppose, and like, there's a whole other crew which, you know, since the last sort of 3 years since I've been living down this way, I've sort of like slipped off the radar a bit. But seeing through the socials, like, obviously there's this other underlying crew of body surfers, you know, coming out of Queensland, Coolum area, and the Gold Coast as well, you know, like there's so many there. And even like, I've been following, and God bless them, it must be cold, the new Southern Ocean crew. I think they're I don't know if you've seen them on the social.
I'll have to get across.
They're in Tassie.
I'll probably meet,
And like, honestly, those guys just froth.
I'll get to meet some of them when I get to Tasmania.
Look, if you go down there, like, honestly, you should definitely be like hooking up with them, like seeing what
sure.
they do, like in the cold water. And I know Joel, he went down there recently. He's had a few cracks in the cold water, and he found it tricky. That's how cold it is.
I missed 3 big names. I also want to mention Caitlin and Dylan Kelly.
Yeah.
Also just freaking amazing. But the main person in my life, my mentor, is Belly Slater. And he's got so much time for me. Guess where he is right now?
Where is he?
Where does he go every year?
He's to the Gold Coast.
Yeah. So he's in the Gold Coast.
Nice.
So he's unavailable to do stuff at the moment because he's always in the Gold Coast. He loves it there.
Yeah.
So Belly, if you're listening, hope you're having a good time, mate. Thank you for all the support and mentorship and all the weird late night chats we have. But we got to start surfing more together, bro. Because he's helped me out a lot as well. So I didn't want to miss anyone out. I hope I got everyone. But it's so cool to have these people around the scene and in your life. I'm just having a look out there. It's kind of looking fun. And I'm thinking we wrap up this podcast.
So I got to try and get a small wave.
Maybe we have a surf and then do like a comedians getting coffee in cars.
No, we can have a chat.
And we'll go find some yuccas.
Yeah, I'll get you. Yeah. I'll show you where they are and I'll show you some other stuff.
Oh, man, this is going to be fun. But for now, did you want to say anything before we wrap up?
Oh, no, I'm just like...
You had so much to get off your chest, I felt.
I've got, like, way more, but, like, you know...
Get it out, quickly.
No.
One last thing.
No, I'm all good. Like, I mean, I just think, you know, body surfing's in a pretty good place, you know? Yeah. I mean, you've got, you know, as the crew down here, you know, the Southern Ocean Scavengers, like those crews like Piers and Andre and those guys, you know, they charge... and it's all inspiring.
Yeah.
You know, like it's just I think every nook has it's like hardcore crew. God, I was down the road from this break the other probably a month back, and I saw a random guy out in a Bells-esque style wave, and it was big, and I was like, is that a body surfer? And he was out there just bombing by himself with like a hardcore surf crew behind him, and he was getting all, you know, like, so I think like body surfing's in a pretty cool place.
Mate, that's my life. That is my life. Oh man. Well, let's wrap things up. Well, we're gonna put on the Antarctic gear and get into this cold water and have a fun little swim, and then we'll go track down some handboards, some hand planes, and some yuccas or any other fins that might be in these shops around here. Hopefully I can catch up with Andre soon as well. But for now, we got to get out of here. We're about to jump in some icy water here in Victoria. It's been a pleasure to catch up with you. Mate. This is when the real podcast starts, when we turn off the mics and we just chat in the water.
Yeah.
You know, we've got a lot to catch up on. So this is going to be really fun. But we got to get out of here, do it all again real soon. I don't know who our next guest is going to be. It could be Andre. It could be Dylan Kelly. It could be Caitlin. It could be Owie. It could be whoever. So we'll have someone on the podcast soon, whoever I can get here in Melbourne before I leave. And then I'll be back in Sydney doing the same old stuff and probably doing some stuff.
It was good to see you,
in Avalon and all that sort of stuff. So, yeah. It was great to see you, Justin. But remember...
It's always overhead when you're body surfing.
You.
You.
Catch ya.
See you guys.